Hey everyone, this is Ankit, and let's get started with reviewing some trades. First, I would like to cover the market internals. So, as you might know, that last week we saw some liquidation in the general market. What was interesting to me was right before the liquidation, I started noticing that the general market was rising up. But at the same time, the internals were um, going down, or they were weak internals. So there was a divergence between the internals and the market, and it kind of gave me a sense that maybe. It made me develop a thesis that maybe we would see a pullback in coming days, which was confirmed on Friday and Thursday as well. Well, on Thursday really, and if you look at the general market, after it went to 4476.5, it pulled back all the way to the low of value area of volume profile. And then we saw a defense of this level, and it went all the way back to test 4415, followed by another pullback, and then all the way back to 448.42 currently at the time of this recording, and which looks to be the value area high of volume profile. And what I'm using is the 130 minutes and 30 days. I've found it to be really helpful just to get an overview of the general market. And so that being said, let's go to our first trade idea, and that is PLTR. PLTR came on my radar when I saw close to 4 million options flow for 2022. And I really liked the weekly chart of PLTR. And as you can see, the price is resting right at the high volume node and the volume point of control. So what we see is quite a bit of confluence going on here. And right now it is consolidating. Once it breaks above 27.48, I think the next price target would be 30.08, followed by 34.65, and then ultimately 42. And the way I came up with these levels was I took this consolidation area and doubled it up. So that's a really quick nifty trick of finding your price targets. The good part about PLTR is that it's way past its earnings. So that's when I entered a long position. So if you look at the 1 year daily, again, the price is again resting at the volume point of control of volume profile. And it has started to defend the gap right after the earnings. And if you see here, the price has been defending, or it has been getting a lot of support by 55 moving average. And so just for context, I use the line that you see here is 13 Hull moving average, and the gray line is 55 moving average. So next we'll go to HLT. This stock is very interesting to me because last week we saw about 15 to 16 million options flow coming into it. And at least for this year, I haven't really seen options flow coming into this stock. So, and that was the unusual sign for me, and that's the reason I put it on my radar. If you look at the weekly frame, again, the price is consolidating or ranging and forming a high volume node in volume profile, which is a really big determiner for me to even consider a stock for trading. And what I'm really looking for is kind of a break. Let's draw the line here. Kind of a break above like a really good break above 129.13, because at least between my intuition is that between 118 and 129, all the big institutions they'll try to set up their positions, which you can see um, these volume bars forming. I mean, what I would really like to see is a big spike uh, while the price is ranging. So that tells me that someone has built a really big position. But till now, I think it's going to be a waiting game. If you look at the daily, then uh, as you can see, it's forming that zigzag pattern and range bound action between 118 and 129. So I think a short term trade could be just taking a trade here all the way to 129. But again, for a really good long position, I would like to see a really good solid break above 129. Also on a high volume day and followed by a defense and then all the way till 140. The next stock that I would like to talk about is Airbnb. Airbnb is a stock that I have a position in, and I entered, just to be fully transparent, I entered this stock position purely based on technical analysis because I'm a price action trader. But off late, I've been following some investors and traders as well, and I could see the fundamental side to it as well, which is that as more and more people they're opting for work from home, and which might incentivize them to start using Airbnb and travel to multiple locations. And I heard about this article quite recently, which Airbnb came up with. And that is, I'm sorry, I mean, I think either it's Airbnb or there was an article written, but the article was really about that the fastest growing segment in Airbnb has been people who stay for 28 days, which is very different from staying in Airbnb traditionally for maybe, 1 to 2 days or maybe a week. So it tells us that people are opting more for long-term stays, and I think this shift towards working from home, Airbnb can really capitalize on. And as more people offer it, you'll see a huge demand in Airbnb listings as well and prices as well. That's just the nature of the economics of any market. So that being said, if you look at the weekly time frame, again, the price is ranging around the high volume node of the volume profile. What I would really like to see is a clean break above 154 followed by a defense. So if you look at the last month action, the price liquidated. The interesting part here was I wanted to know whether this liquidation, was it any significant? Meaning, would we see a follow through after this particular week's action? And my hypothesis or thesis was that no, I think we might see a reversal. And my reason was that if you compare this candle to, let's say, this candle, and if we see the momentum, so there was a strong momentum for the price to go down, right? So you could expect that there would be a follow through, which was confirmed in the following 2 weeks. Now, when I was looking at this candle and I compared and I looked at the momentum of this candle, it didn't occur to me that this is a very strong, like the liquidation is very strong. If I compare this momentum take or unit to this. And so I thought maybe it's possible that the price could test this level and then do a reversal, which was again confirmed in the following 4 weeks. And so after this particular liquidation, the price reversed and came back to a high of 152.76. And then at this point, I was expecting a pullback as well because we are seeing four weeks of continuous rise, which happened last week, pullback. And what's really interesting to see here is that, first of all, the price when liquidated, it tested what I call the balance low, which is basically a range bound action, or a range where the price consolidates, right? And as you can see here, it just tested the low of this balance area that I've defined. And then that's when the buyers stepped in and the price took the price up a little bit. If we shift to the daily, here we will see a more clearer picture. I like to start from weekly because it kind of helps me understand the long-term view and then really break it down to daily. And when I go to lower time frame, I like to use the 130 minutes, 90 days, and 65 minutes, 90 days. And if you have any questions about why 130 days or 65 days, please drop in a comment and I'll answer. I'll be more than happy to explain it. And so as I was explaining, when the price came back to this volume, the low of value area of volume profile, it reversed and went all the way up. But what's really interesting to see is if we draw the Fibonacci retracements, you see how it came back to the 50%. Now the interesting part here would be going into next week is, will it start to form balance and then first of all have a clean break above 155 area, defend it, and then test 168 area, right? So and as we have seen also, like when the price it rises and then pulls back, it's not very linear, right? It's always the price goes up and then have a pullback. So basically all the profit takers, they have taken profits, or even the trap buyers, they must have liquidated their positions. So you see this range where the traders might have thought it would go up and then got trapped and liquidated. So the buyers here stepped in, the trap buyers, and then when the price ultimately came back above the volume point of control, that's when I was expecting a liquidation because I was expecting all these trap buyers to flatten their positions, and then these buyers who came in here to take some profits. So now I want to see, ideally, what I would like to see is some sort of base formation and then really go for the next run. So that's it from me for this week. This was my first video as well, so I'll be more than happy to listen to your feedback, any questions or any critiques. Everything is more than welcome. So I'd like to know your comments I would like to hear your comments on the video. So thank you so much and looking forward to next week.